I didn't think I'll be doing a mindful hedonism segment on the pleasures of anger and the dangers of that too, and what's possible for us to unlock when we apply mindfulness in order to render that anger safe for us and usable for us to drive positive change. I received some messages this morning that made me really mad, like really mad. The kind of mad that you feel the fire just flaring up from within your heart and your whole head just fills with a kind of fog, like a red mist. and your pulse is just thumping and you just want to slap someone. And going through that was really energizing and really activating. And if I wasn't mindful about it, it could have been very destructive, because I found myself whipping out my phone and starting to write a pretty angry reply, and that would not have been wise. It would not have ended up in good outcomes either. And so my purpose today in inviting you to think about the mindful hedonic application of anger is, can we distill out the good stuff and leave the bad stuff behind? I think that's totally possible. Anger is like a flame. Just as it can be so destructive and just burn everything down, yourself and others included. And it can rage out of control and be really difficult to bring back into control once it's started. It's also too simplistic to just look at fire that way, because as we know, fire is also really useful when it's controlled, and it's indispensable. As a matter of fact, it can do things that you can't do without fire. And let's think about anger, and let's think about how being able to enjoy the beauty of the moment of being angry, if there is even such a thing in the first place. And when I asked myself that question this morning when this episode happened to me, and afterwards, I realized that there are. I realized that when I create a safe container for myself, with bringing my attention back to my breath, just coming back into the safe envelope of my body, allowing myself to just calm down and slow down in the privacy of my own mind, just noticing the push and pull of the emotions within me. All of these are acts of self-compassion and of mindful awareness, bringing a quality of tenderness inside your heart to quell that. It's a little bit like containing the fire, but not putting it out altogether. You're quietening down the rough edges of it. You are putting boundaries around the spread of it. You are able to hold yourself safely so that it's not manifesting itself in some impulsive action or word that you may later come to regret. But it also allows you to just keep that steady fuel, therefore tempered. And when it's tempered, then you can start to use it. And that's really where the clarity that comes when you have mindfulness and compassion comes to bear. Because when you're able to think very clearly about what this is about, and to think about what's really important for you to show up with in this situation, you can then feed the distilled anger to that. And that becomes resolve, and that becomes determination, and that becomes grit and backbone and steel and a kind of calm, powerful way of being that is still angry, but a whole transformation away from the kind of rage, the kind of mindless rage that sees you, sounding the horn at the guy in front of you, or taking it out on something else, or sometimes you take it out on yourself. But yeah, I think just being able to tune into that pleasure of recognizing that this anger comes to you for a very good reason, and that it can kick your butt into action, where before that it might have been paralysis, you might have been apathetic, you might have been too scared, you might have been just feeling so depressed and so down, and sometimes a little jolt of something that makes you really wake up and go, whoa, I'm not letting that happen. I'm not letting this just pass by without, me making something of it and turning things around. There's a balance that can be found when you balance all these ingredients. So I'd like to know what you think.